Why should you join the Livingston County Republican Party?
Why, you ask?
Yeah, why?
Why join?
The Republican Party is the party of common sense.
Common sense.
Republicans support the Constitution.
Republicans protect your rights.
We fight to keep your children safe.
We fight to keep boys and men out of girls' and women's sports.
We fight to keep boys out of girls' restrooms.
We fight for you.
What does the Republican Party do?
We help Republican candidates get elected.
Why is it important to elect Republicans?
Why is that important?
Why?
Tell me, why is that important?
Livingston County is one of the safest counties in Michigan.
Livingston County has one of the lowest crime rates in the state of Michigan.
Livingston County has the lowest tax millage rate of all 83 counties.
Republicans work to balance the budget.
Republican legislators vote against raising your taxes.
Republican elected officials believe in transparency.
Republican clerks run elections with integrity.
Republican trustees protect your rights.
Republicans support our veterans.
Who can join?
If you are conservative, we want you in our party.
All conservatives are welcome at our table.
Join our activities.
Join the fun.
Become a member.
Join us now.
Hi, I'm Deb Drick, Chair of Livingston County Republican Party. Our conservative message has been very well received in Livingston County, and I'm so happy to share with you that people are stepping up right and left to help. The only thing's missing is you. Come join our mission. Come join our fun. Go to livingstonrepublicans.com and click join. You'll be glad you did.
Livingston County deserves a judge who understands the job. As a senior prosecutor and former judicial law clerk, I offer just that. I've handled serious cases at every level, including the Michigan Supreme Court, and I've also served inside the circuit court, advising judges and drafting judicial opinions. As your circuit court judge, I will bring legal excellence, stability, and continuity to our courts for decades to come. Invest in the future of Livingston County. Vote Christopher Candela for 44th Circuit Court Judge.
I'm an attorney who goes to work every day to fight for our community and defend our Constitution. My name is Christina Like, and now I want to be your next circuit court judge. And that means ensuring our constitutional rights are protected, protecting the innocent lives of our children, making decisions based upon rule of law and not politics, making court more affordable, and always placing the people first.
Someone once said, where your treasure goes, there also will be your heart. What kind of world do you want to invest in? Do your investments fund industries that tempt people to harm relationships? What if you could be more intentional with your money? What if your investments built content that enriched others' minds? Jason Huntley, CFP, has been guiding families for 30 plus years to plan, invest, and build for the next generation. Scan the QR code now to make that first step to investing in tech.
Welcome, and here we are halfway through June. No, I say this every single meeting. We're moving too quickly. I would really like it if somebody could back the dates up. So next week will be like early June, but all right, fine. We are halfway through June. Welcome to the right side with Deb Drick, Chair of Livingston County Republican Party, and we'd like to welcome back Tyler Hammock, who was doing some night shift working for a while there, but he is back, and I'm glad to have him back. I want to send out big thanks for Caleb for filling in for him when he was away. He did a great job. Tyler's back. That's great. He's awesome over there. So just thrilled to pieces that to be here. So tonight we're going to try something new. In a little while, we're going to get to some different topics that we're going to talk about, but I'm going to try taking in some call-ins. So, and I haven't figured out whether or not I could do Bluetooth on this or not. So we'll be figuring that out as we go, as we talk about things. So let me get over here to the comments. I see they're already starting to come in. Mark Ashley Price. Well, how the heck are you? He's here. He is happy to report that it's official that he's on the ballot twice for precinct delegate and the Republican Party nomination for state district. Congratulations, Mark. Well, we miss you, Tyler. All right. So I'm going to really quick see if I don't know if on the speaker, let's see if I can pair pair this. I don't know what this is. What is this? Job. And just like that, we're back. I think it's working now, right? Yes. Okay. So here we are. Everybody can hear me, I'm assuming. All right, so I'm not touching the mic again. I'm not gonna mess with that. We will we'll figure this out. And I might be able to do but anyway, I do have a speaker on this thing, and this thing picks up from across the room, so we're good. And I think what I'm going to do is, if you know I've got you in my speed dial, or saved in my phone, you can call me. If I don't know you, and that's fine, you still can call, but you need to text first and tell me who you are. Oh, good, thanks, Mark. Who you are and kind of what you're giving us, just one sentence summary of your discussion, your statement, and then we'll call you and we'll bring you in. So anyway, or I'll tell you to go ahead and call. So we're gonna get going on that. I want to cover a couple things. First of all, I had all these things all brought up, and when I had to back out, it left. Wanted to report that Brian Ignatowski's event, if you didn't go to that event, you missed out on a great event. We had a bunch of people. He did really well. I was really happy to see so many good people supporting him, and he just did a fantastic job. So really interested in he's doing so much better this time. More people are supporting him, and it's just going well. But we had a great time. Annabelle, the singer, did a fantastic job. She entertained everybody with her great lyrics and her great song. She's a good singer and very personable and very energetic. So she did a great job. And they had cornhole games going, and the wine. I'm not a drinker. Those of you who know me, I'm not a drinker. I don't drink very much. I had a glass of their wine. Oh my gosh, was it good. And we had lots and lots of great hors d'oeuvres and desserts and things to go with the wine. So anyway, thanks to everybody that came there. I contacted Brian this morning. Yesterday reached out and told him that if he wanted to have a walk day coming up on a Saturday, I would come down and cook breakfast like I did before. That went over real well. So watch for that. Come on down and have a walk with us. You'll have a great breakfast. We had a great time and a great breakfast last time. So report number 2, want to bring this up. Let me bring it open it up another. Judge Michael Warren fundraiser reception, Monday, June 22nd, to be held in Brighton. Once you RSVP, you'll get the location. The ticket level is $250. There's a host committee there, of which I'm part of. They have different sponsorships, but this is a big one. We, as you know, you've seen us get overruled. There's so many people complaining about Ralph Rebant's terrible appeals that aren't going anywhere. It's because we don't have good judges in those spots. So let's get behind Judge Warren if you're able. $250 is a lofty price, but we'd love to. We really need to have people come. So if you can do that, you can see Senator Tice, Mike Murphy, Anthony Noble, the White Lake Township Clerk, Jeff and Kim Bigelman, and Paul Funk and I are all sponsors, so we're the host committee anyway. So, take a picture of that QR code and then donate. Even if you can't go donate, this is important. So let me get out of this one and get the next one. And back at the same winery we've talked about this one. This time I've got the QR code. So again, take a picture of this one. It is 6 to 9, Wednesday, July 8th. It's a joint fundraiser for Doug Lloyd and Anthony Ferlini. $50 a piece to each of them. So it's $100 for an event, but it's $50 each of them. You can sponsor different levels down here to both. And then here's a QR to donate to Anthony. Here's a QR to donate to Doug. And you can see way down there, there's chair at livingstonrepublicans.com. That's the RSVP or questions or whatever. So, but this is going to be a great event. We've got 10 counties sponsoring this. So it's going to be a great event. So make sure you attend there. And last but not least, I want to remind everybody that this Sunday is our 10X day. Every other Sunday we do 10X training, and so it's somewhere between 20 and 30 minutes. It doesn't take long. It's very, very simple. This is how we're going to win right here. It's the simplest thing ever. It's easy. Everybody feels bad that they can't do doors because they don't want to knock on doors. They don't want to leave the house. You don't. This is just like doors, except only people you know. So it's very quick. Nobody wants a credit card from you or a password or any kind of nonsense. You're not even downloading anything. You're just going to a site. So the Zoom link, every time I move my mouse, it goes away. But the Zoom link is on the bottom there. Take a picture of this and get that Zoom link. And, we'll also have it on the Livingston County Republican Party page. Join this training. We had a tracker at this training last time. I figured out who he was and I kicked him out. So anyway, come to this. It's great. I do it every other week, and it's really important that we do this. It's so easy. Okay, so I want to make the quick announcement too that if I don't, Mark, type something in there. I'm not seeing anybody typing in, and I'm wondering if I lost everybody when I had to read. Oh, there we go. Never mind. What do I know? So there we go. So if you're typing in that, I will bring it up. I will do this. Wow, like that. And if I don't do that, that's because I didn't see it. For some reason, in some of the sites, it doesn't show up. I don't know why. Go to a different one. You got one at Deborah Drick, you got one at Rob Rod, you got one at Livingston County Republican Party, and you've got one at the Right Side Livingston and YouTube. Thanks, Mark. Judge Warren, Mr. Lloyd, and Mr. Fellini are amazing candidates. I agree. I totally agree. So, all right, is that all the stuff? Yes, that's all the stuff. July 2nd is the next LCRP meeting. So that's a little early, but that's okay. So, all right, we're going to test it out. The first thing we're going to talk about here is negative campaigning. I just did I did an article recently about this, and I did a post, and I did a lot of responses, and I got a lot of people texting me, especially candidates. Are you talking about me? No. And it's funny too, because none of the people that texted me, I wasn't talking about them. But negative campaigning, the effects, how it works, I don't get candidates that do this. They don't understand. I think they believe whatever it is. They're out there and they're talking to somebody, and rather than saying, why should you vote for me, they're spending time saying things, and they're testing the waters, maybe a hint here and there, and then if it doesn't get, rejected, then they go more, and they start running down the other person. And the person that's listening is listening politely and maybe nodding because they don't want to be confrontational, they don't want to cause a problem or whatnot, but they're listening, but inside they're going, oh my gosh. Hi, Russ. Russ just posted on my, we're talking about negative campaigning, Russ, and you had said you were dealing with something like that right now. And what I'm trying to get across to you is, even if people are agreeing with you to your face, the minute you leave, they go, oh my gosh, that was horrible. And I'm telling you, and how do I know this? Because they're calling me, and they're saying, what is with this person? Some even people don't even know me, and they're emailing, they're calling me, they're getting my number, which is fine, and calling me saying, can you tell me about this person? And I'll say, well, and I don't take sides in a primary, so I just say, here's, as chair, I can't do that. As a person, I can if I choose to, but I rarely do. But I will say, well, here's the facts. The facts are, this person is from here, this person is from there, this is this, and I'll just go through the facts without putting my thumb on any scale. And I'll say, why? And they'll say, well, this person was at my door, or I ran into them, or I met them, and that's all they did was say this other stuff. And I listened, but there's no way I'm going to vote for that person now. And that's what, if you're a candidate, hear me loud. I'm not screwing around. I'm not joking. I shoot it straight. This is straight talk. This is what they're doing. They're telling you, they're not telling you, I should say, they're not telling you that they're offended by this, but they are, and you've lost their vote. I don't care what they've said to you. So they wouldn't go out of their way to call me, especially when they don't know me, and say, what is going on here? So you cannot hear this enough, and I applaud those candidates out there that are zipping their lips and not saying not one bad word about anybody. That's how you win. That is how you win. Talk about what, and I think I closed my statement with, if you can't tell people why they if you can't come up with enough good reasons why someone should vote for you, then you shouldn't be running. I mean, if you have to rely on cutting down the other person. So anyway, all right. So what I want you to do here is we're going to open up for some calls about negative campaigning. Have you had an experience? Have you had any thoughts? And if I've got you, if I already have talked to you, and we've talked before and I know your name, that's fine. Just go ahead and call. But if I don't know you, I won't answer the phone. So text me first and just say what your name is and basically what your statement's going to be. You may be summarize, and we'll chat about it. But we're just going to try this and see if it works. Hopefully I can move this mic without disconnecting it again. Sounds like I did. Everybody can still hear me? Russ, you had a situation where you had a negative campaigning situation. Can you talk about it? I see. Oh, there we go. There's the number to text. Yeah, I'm telling everybody text me and no number yet. Tyler's over here going, hello. That's why I need him. Here's Bob. Hi, Bob. One of my opponents went door-to-door knocking and told everybody a bunch of lies about me, so I made a sign for him. Yes, your signs are legendary. Yes, they are. Let's see. For me personally, even most individuals who politically disagree with me in Highland Park like me as a person. That's a compliment. When you can, even your opponents are respectful to you. So, hang on, let me go back to this. So there's the number. If I haven't ever spoken to you before, or we don't know each other, text that and just give me your name and kind of what you want to talk about. But call me if I do know you, or if I've talked to you before. Just give me a call, and I'll pick up and we'll have this conversation. Somebody call Russ. Call me. I'm just trying to figure out if this works or not. So, yes, Bob and his signs are legendary. So anyway, but negative campaigning, it is just what it tells people that they just don't have enough confidence in yourself to talk about just you. And frankly, like I said, as a candidate, you should never mention. Now, I think Randy Guppy, I don't know if he's watching, but Randy Guppy had told me, let's see, new comments. Why am I keep touching new comments and it's not coming off. Wait, let me get out of here. All right. Okay. Mark says he's too shy to call. You're too shy to call. Well, you're like you do all your calling online anyway, so you type everything you think, so that's okay. You don't need to call. But yes. Oh, who's calling? Russ Jennings. Hi, Russ. Okay, here we go. Okay, let's see if this works. Say something, Russ, and Mark, tell me if you can hear Russ.
Can you hear me?
Can you hear him, Mark?
I'm the test run.
You are. Mark, Ashley Price, tell me a thumbs up. Can you hear Russ talking? Or Tyler, go in the other room and listen to. Are you watching on your phone?
Did you put the mic to the phone?
Yeah, because I've got like a surround. Oh, he can hear you. Okay, good. This
okay,
works.
As long as Mark Ashley Price is listening, we'll let it rip, right?
That's right. So talk to me about negative campaigning. You said you know, I don't know if you want to go into detail or even if you just want to say general. Kind of tell me what was going on, or tell me what your thoughts about negative campaigning and how it backfires.
Well, I agree with you in the article that you wrote, the statements you wrote, and I guess you really didn't say anything new, but the way you put it together made me think. We have a mayor's race in the city of Jackson, and I think there's 4 or 5 candidates, and 2 in particular. And not at the doors like you're referencing, but on social media, they're just constantly one after another. And the one candidate that I prefer, he's been around a long time, and I was like, you know, I think that's a turnoff. You know, you should probably stop doing that. You know the issues, just run on the platforms. Your opponent that you're arguing with doesn't have a platform, so why would you engage in this? If it's bothering me, and I like the individual, a person that doesn't know you, I think it'd be a turnoff. He disagrees with me. He's actually been around longer than I have, but has lost several campaigns.
Note the lack of surprise. Note the lack of surprise on my face.
I've lost a couple too, but I have won one, so
right.
I guess that gives that to me. But I don't know, when you wrote that, it just something that stuck to me on that. I also told him, which is another topic. So this individual lost the mayor's race, the mayor's race a couple of years ago, and by just a couple hundred votes, maybe even less than that. And I'm like, okay, the person that you are arguing with has not even a remote possibility of ever winning this primary. Right? Where you do. So why would you even acknowledge that this candidate exists?
Russ, if you could say that 10 times, it wouldn't be enough. People don't get that. You're right. And it's like they have nothing. It's like the candidate, the nobody has nothing to lose and everything to gain. And the candidate that is known, that's doing the disparaging, he has nothing to gain and everything to lose. And that's what people don't get. When you are in a race like that, you have, I mean, and you're especially the front runner. Shut up.
So this individual might not be the front runner. I think it's a 4-way.
Okay.
And there is a couple of candidates that are probably worthy of winning also. So, but the individual that he argues with isn't them. It's the one that has, in my opinion, what the heck do I know, right, Deb?
Yeah.
It has no possibility of winning, so why engage?
Well, I'll tell you something.
Said something to get you fired up. Why engage?
It's funny that you mentioned that. I don't know that we're talking about the same race, but I have been watching a 4-way race as well, and one of the candidates, now I have not seen the candidate outright like call somebody out or use a name, but they make these insinuations, things like, well, I haven't done this or this. I do this. But it's like, I didn't move here just to run, that kind of stuff. And it's like, I look at that and think, you got to be kidding me. Why wouldn't you say, why wouldn't you just say, I'm born here, or I've been living here for 20 years? That says it all. You don't need to say, I didn't move here to run. You just got in the mud with the pigs. And it's like, why would you do that?
You almost justify what the accusation is by defending
that. Yes. And it's petty. It is petty. If you got to look at little things like that, why can't you just say, hey, I've lived in this place for 30 years. I've grown up here. I've raised my kids here. That's all you need to say. Once you compare yourself to somebody else, you've lost 3 notches. You've gone down.
Deb, it's also difficult to do. Like I said, I have lost 2 races for political position, and then in 24 won one, and they're always been somewhat heated, at least at a local level. And it's very difficult to bite your tongue. But the minute you do engage, I think you just ruined it all. It is hard.
It's very hard, and I get it. But you want to make your point. Make your point about yourself. If you start comparing yourself to the candidate, to your opponent, you now have given your opponent control. If your statements come out to defend or to say, like you try to outdo something, whether you've lived there a long time or whatever else, or like the other person has, let's say, tons and tons of experience, and the first thing you say was, well, I have experience, I have tons and tons of experience too, where that might not have been where you should be going. Maybe your skills over here. So what you're doing is you're letting the tail wag the dog, and you've lost control of your own campaign that way. And this is what people just don't get. So anyway, that's just my.
One more quick thing.
Sure,
Do you
absolutely.
remember a little old school way of campaigning that I think, I don't know if it was the best way, but it seems like it's gone away. If you would never mention your opponent's name.
Yes! You're supposed to. That's the smart thing to do.
Yes, never mention their name. Never. Now, social media, especially now, and they'll say so and so is wrong because of this, and I'm always like, why would you mention their name? But if you're at the door, just talk about how you want to make your community better.
Yes. What are you gonna do? Why are you running? What are you going to do? How are you going to do it? And ask for their vote. That's it right there. As soon as you get into, and I think Randy Guppy said something about comparisons. And I said, absolutely. But comparisons, there's a difference between saying, I'm the only candidate with X experience. Or, my opponent doesn't have a clue about XXX. There's a difference. In one of them, you're saying it and you're being positive and you're talking about yourself. The other one, you're taking a pot shot. People don't like it. You're gonna find problems. So I know people feel like they're not fighters or I'm a fighter. I speak okay. You'll be. I think I'm gonna quote Chris Long, and he has one of my favorite sayings ever, and that is, "You'll be the most righteous person at the losing table."
Oh yes, that is a good.
That's a good statement. Yes. So I borrow that all the time, but I always give them credit.
This conversation just made me think of something.
Go ahead.
Let's say, I always reference my Republican voting neighbors, okay?
Right.
And and they're not active like I am or you are, okay? And it just is what it is. But that's those kitchen table items that they want to talk about. If a candidate knocks at the door, they want to hear your idea on how to make their life better.
Right.
And usually they're not active in politics because, just like my wife, for example, she doesn't like the sausage being made. She doesn't like the inside. It's just get to the point. So if you go to the door and knock on the door and you start immediately downing your opponent, you've all of a sudden put them in a conflict that they're not comfortable with.
Yes. And even if they've not, just to try to move the conversation along, wow, okay, I didn't know that. Just, these are things that, even if they agree, as soon as you walk away, I'm telling you, they're going to be going, wow, what a loser. Oh yeah. It happens. Like I said, I know my phone's just blowing up. So it's just how it is.
Yeah, I like this phone call thing. You're going to make me want to try it.
Good. All right. Well, you should be answering your people online too. We've already had this discussion.
Yeah, I know we do. I don't have as many online.
You have mean. And yours are mean. Oh my goodness. I was on Russ's podcast. Russ is those of you who don't know, Russ Jennings is the chair of the Jackson GOP, and I was on his podcast. And as I'm sitting there, I'm almost having a hard time concentrating what I'm saying because all these statements are being made, and they're mean. You got a bunch of trackers and meanies. So I'm fighting with a couple of them, and finally I just said, I can't look at this anymore. So.
Yeah. anyways, it was kind of cool. Maybe you'll get some more phone calls. In the meantime, I've got pork chops to go keep an eye on.
All right. Enjoy your dinner.
All right, bye.
We'll talk soon. Bye-bye. Well, this is kind of working out, isn't it? That's great. I'm going to have to do this more often. I think I will have a call-in session pretty much every time. I mean, if it works out like this, because this is kind of cool to be able to have two-way conversations. I get tired of hearing my own voice, and then I'll put a question out. Nobody will answer, and then I will go on to something else, and then 2 topics later, somebody then texts the answer to what I wanted to talk about. So this is much easier. All right, anybody else have any thoughts about negative campaigning? Any stories? Any clean, no swearing, Bob? Stories that they want to talk about? Yeah, it is a you can here. Let me put that number back up. Do. You can text me. You can text me or call. Right now it's kind of slow. You might as well just call. If you're stupid, I'll hang up on you. So if you're calling me to give me grief. So there's the call. Just go ahead and call or text, and then we'll start talking. But yeah, I just do not get how I don't get it. I mean, I feel like some people sometimes get desperate. You know, they start worrying that if they don't do something, they're going to lose, but not every action is a good action. So, and not every fear is justified. It's, it's like, it becomes what is that called? Self-fulfilling prophecy when you push like that. So, anyway, so, negative campaigning going once. Maybe have you ever, one topic, have you ever negative campaigned and did it backfire? Did you ever negative campaign and have it work? I guess it could work sometimes, depending. Has anyone negatively campaigned against you, and what did you do? That's a good question. So we'll watch for that. So while I'm waiting to see if anybody calls, I will just state that I had a great afternoon, or morning, I should say. Morning, yeah, it was morning. Ms. Joni Louise Econom and I drove to Charlotte, where we met Representative Gina Johnson, and we went into a Tom Barrett briefing where he had RFK Jr. there talking about Healthy America, along with some a Michigan farmer and a person from Healthy America, and some other panelists, and they were talking about RFK is very, very interesting, and he had a long discussion about what's making us unhealthy in America right now, and how chronic illness is up in huge numbers, way more than it should be, and processed foods, and we all need to grow our own food and get rid of this processed stuff. So anyway, it was very, very interesting, and I'm thankful to Tom Barrett's office for calling me and giving me Joni and Gina the chance. Yeah, there's a good point right here. Ms. Bukowski says, President Trump destroyed Marco Rubio, and he did right back during debates and primaries, and look at them now. So that's another reason you never, ever, ever burn a bridge politically. I mean, it happens sometimes, but if you can avoid doing that, I would. It is not healthy. Because you never know. And that's, Karen, thank you. That's a great example. President Trump and Marco Rubio, when they first ran in 2016, it was absolute chaos it was murder between those two, to the point where I think Marco Rubio told a story about, he actually apologized to both he wasn't president, but Donald Trump at the time, and anybody else that listened, saying, he got sucked up into the fight, and he said some things that one of his kids heard, and he was humiliated, just horrified that his kids heard that, and decided, that's it, I'm done with this. And so, which was terrific. But you're right, Karen, they end up working together, and I have had people that politically I have been at odds with, but you just don't burn the bridge, because you just never know. And it's amazing how oftentimes later you become
friends or allies. So what do they say? Politics makes strange bedfellows. That's true. Okay, so one strike. Let's move on. And people, like I said, if you want to call in or text in or whatever, that's fine. We can have a chat. So I'm no gotchas here, no fights. Just if you want to call and chat about something or tell a story, we'd love to hear from you. So one strike. Let's talk about one strike. Is when you have a legislator or elected official, we'll just say elected official that generally votes right, generally votes well, generally votes conservatively, okay, and you're like that, and all of a sudden, for some unknown reason that you can't figure out, they vote against the rest of the Republicans, and I've seen that, and I've seen everybody lose their mind. And of course, now this is what I told you about these texts. I wait, get going, and then I look back and somebody's finally texted in. I think there's a delay. So, based on what we were talking about a minute ago, Laura says, I think it's very telling if a candidate cannot manage the stress, fears, worries of an election and attack their adversaries. Voila, booyah, that's a really good statement, and you're correct. And then moving to RFK, Joni was with me today. Chronic illness is out of control. And, she's right. This administration really wants to educate the county on proper dietary guidelines to prevent these unnecessary illnesses. And this is a woman, this is Superwoman here that she was working, she puts on Monday or on Tuesday, she puts on our Reagan Day dinner, and Friday she's in open heart surgery, and the next Tuesday she's home again. Who does this? Joni. All right, so back to where we were. Let me put this up here. There we go. One strike. So you get these elected officials that vote conservatively, vote the way you like. You're just fine, and all of a sudden, wham! They vote against everybody else, and everybody goes up in an uproar. And I've seen 3 instances of that lately. And what is frustrating to me is, I don't know why that person hasn't made a statement, and they're already, judging him. And it's Jamie Green out of Macomb County, I believe. Jamie Green voted against something, and she said it was a big tax something. She voted against it because, what was the statement she made? She said it added a tax on services. It dropped this over here, but it added a tax on services, and she said she wasn't willing to do that. And that was, but she got, she was being crucified over this. So then, let me get rid of that. Oh, come on. Oftentimes a strategy. Boy, suddenly this is just not working. Let's go up here for a minute, and then, all right, let's just get out of here. All right, there we go. So anyway, but she was crucified over this, and what was frustrating is that I thought she offered a fairly good reason for not doing that. Then Tom Barrett, Congressman Barrett, voted against something. Voted to curtail President Trump's. He said that it should go to Congress first. Holy cow! Everybody's favorite congressman just got crucified, and I wondered about that, and I thought, did anybody ask him why he did that, or was there an explanation, or was there something before everybody jumped? And I'm not saying that he did the right thing or the wrong thing. I'm not discussing his. I don't know whether it was the right thing or not, because I don't know why. I guess it's frustrating to me is that nobody knows why. Why did he do that? Then there was recently Jim DeSanta, Representative Jim DeSanta, who I've always heard super good things about as far as being a conservative, really conservative voter, one of the top conservative voters in there, and he just voted against something that everybody else voted for. And, he doesn't strike me, I don't know the man, so I don't know. I looked into him a little bit here recently because of some other stuff, but everything I found on him was very conservative, intelligent, articulate,
knows what he's doing, does things for reasons. So when this happened, everybody was like, "Oh my gosh!" And right away they went from this, applause to attack. And I looked for an explanation from him, and it might be that somebody told me recently that he had lost some staff. So I'm thinking maybe the explanation is delayed because of the staff. I don't know, but either way, it's what is going on there. But so to any elected officials out there, if you're going to vote against the grain, I don't necessarily think that's a bad thing, but put it out there. Do a great job of messaging. Talk about them. Talk about why you did it. And explain to people. I think people understand or can accept what they don't, even if they don't agree, they can accept what they don't, what they understand. But if they don't understand, there's that's where the issues come from. And I mean, once that snowball gets going downhill, you can't stop it. It just builds and builds. So get that explanation out quick. But for the public, I guess I'm curious as to, what your thoughts are about, these attacks on elected officials, when, it's like I said, typically they vote, all of a sudden, boom, and it was, do you remember the Bill Cosby, I don't know if they were albums or tapes or whatever they were, but they were the comedy things. There was a Bill Cosby, about fatherhood or something, parenthood or something. He did a big series on it, like as his like a comedy. I don't know what you call them, like Eddie Murphy did Delirious or something. Anyway, but his was on fatherhood, and he made hilarious stories about being a dad, and he talked about his wife being just evil person to the children. And he was talking about how he got up and he had to make breakfast for the kids because his wife was somewhere else or sleeping or something, and he was looking, and he was going to make pancakes or he says, get out the flour, the eggs, the butter, whatever for the stuff. And he looked at it and he thought, wow, I could make a cake. It has eggs and flour and all the stuff that would normally go in there, all these healthy things. So he made chocolate cake for breakfast and gave it to him. And the wife came home, and right away he says, the children were singing my praises. Daddy's so great. We love Daddy. Daddy's, awesome. Daddy made us chocolate, Daddy's so great. He made us chocolate cake. And it was, all this stuff until Mom walked in. And then as soon as they saw Mom said, who made chocolate cake for the children? And they all went, Daddy made us eat it. And he says, and the children who were moments ago singing my praises turned on me. And that's what reminds me of that. I still hear that little skit in my head when I see, like I said, a normally coherent, understandable, conservative, consistently conservative elected official vote odd. And I guess I just ask, is it too, do they owe an explanation? Probably. But do you think we owe a little bit of grace or a little bit of, kind of the, what's it called? Oh, I'm drawing a blank. Benefit of the doubt. Do you think we should give somebody the benefit of the doubt before everybody reacts about it? Don't know. What do you think? Not sure this phone call thing's taking off real well. Maybe we got to get used to it. But anyway, so that's the one strike theory. At what point, I guess that's the question I ask you guys. At what point do we say, at what point should we really call in their chips? Because, if you normally do a great job, but you vote against the grain, and here's another thought. Is it, that person, we go on and on and on. We go on and on and on about how we want we want an honest one. We want one who votes their conscience. We want one who doesn't, go along to get along. But we get one that votes against everybody else, and we blow up at them. How is this going to work? How is that encouraging you to get to one? Now, Karen says, voters have a right to disagree with the move, vote, initiative of their elected official. They absolutely do. They do have it. But my question, and this is kind of rhetorical, Karen, it's just opinions, but at what point do we like tell, I mean, do we really want to go for the juggler right from the beginning when all we're doing is, when they normally vote terrifically? And then here, they have a right to do it, especially without being warned, to keep your mouth shut. They have a right to do so, and especially without being warned to keep your mouth shut. I don't understand that one. I don't know if you typoed there or not. Okay, Mark, we're going to come back to that because that's so off topic. You're going to lose everybody here. All right. So anyway, but yeah, Karen, try that one again or call me because I don't know what that meant. So, okay, here's the number again if anybody wants to call in. So, yeah, it's like if you have one strike, I mean, if they normally vote right, I mean, you have a right. Everybody has a right to question, and that's important. That's very important that we're able to question it. Here we go. The voter has a right to voice their concerns without being told to keep quiet. Oh, absolutely, they do. And there's a difference between saying keep quiet and should we go for the jugular right from the very first thing. And this is a conversation, Karen. This is not an attack on anybody, and this is not this is not even related to anybody in particular. But I've just seen, like I said, three different situations where it was absolute attack of the, oh my God, recall them, get them out over one vote, and but it bothers me that wasn't even asked. So anyway, so that's just my thoughts on that. I'm just curious as to what anybody else thinks about that. Or at what point, I mean, I don't think anybody should shut their mouth. I think anybody should question. You're right. Anybody should question or has the right to question, what they saw, about that vote. But as I said, there's a difference between questioning it and attacking. And at what point should the attacks not? I mean, at some point, you make a whole bunch of these things. Okay, maybe attacks are warranted, but the first time, I guess I question that. So, all right. So now we're going to change subject here because Mark has completely derailed me. I almost forgot to mention about Juneteenth. June 19th is on a Friday. Many individuals don't know the history of Juneteenth. The Republican Party played an important role with it, beginning with President Abraham Lincoln. Oh my goodness. Part of the history of Juneteenth, the Republican Party has always been a friend of the black community and freedom in general, including now with the great leadership of President Trump. Okay, now that we've gone down that bunny hole, let's come back. What does mean? Look, nobody here is telling anybody what they can and cannot do. I guess there's a difference. I guess I'm questioning whether or not questioning the candidate before they jump all over the place is the appropriate move. But anyway, like I said, anybody has a right to do whatever they want. All right, so I'm curious as to see Jim DeSantis' explanation for that vote. Matt Stafford, how are you? Matt, we're doing a new thing. We're calling in. We've not done that. We tested it. It works. Let's see. You know what? Can you type that number again? You don't have to put the text or anything. Just put the number in. Yeah, so we're going to put the number up there again so I don't have to keep scrolling back. So we're doing a new thing, and we're asking people if you want to have a conversation about something, whether it's our topic or Mark likes to derail me and go here and there. So we're going to have a...
I just want to answer to that.
Sorry. There we go. That's good right there. All right, so there is the number right there. Oh, that's Matt's. Nope. Right there. Okay, so right there, give me a call if you want to talk about any of this stuff. But so the next topic is, well, we were talking, Matt, we were talking about negative campaigning, and we were talking about the one strike, meaning a candidate that normally votes everything. I mean, everything right, and then all of a sudden does a vote that nobody understands. I found it interesting. I've seen 3 recently where these are normally good conservative candidates, and all of a sudden they're just getting their heads ripped off because of this vote. And I guess I'm just curious as to why they would do it, but I also want to encourage everybody, find out why and then decide. You know, Jamie Green gave a great explanation. She says, you know, this is, yes, it's a tax cut now, but it puts a tax on services, and I'd rather it didn't have that in it. I voted no because I didn't want that in there. That's a very reasonable reason to vote no. So anyway, so there's the number. You can call, or you can, well, yeah, if you don't know me, text me. But if you tell me up here you're going to call me, then I'll just let you call me. So the next one is who's your pick? That's the next topic. And so who's your pick? And anybody can say what they're doing. You can type it, you can call, whatever you want to do. So we've got governors, we've got judges, we've got state representatives all over the place. We got state senators all over the place that are battling it out. It doesn't have to be here. Audience anymore is not limited to Livingston County. It's all over the place. So tell me about a race in your area and who you got and why. So, you know, we've got in Livingston County, we've got a couple of contested races. We've got Howell Township has got 2 Republicans running in the for trustee. It's a trustee. Then, let's see, they have a supervisor, but that's uncontested. Genoa Township has a contested clerk position. Neither of them were elected as clerk. They both were elected as trustees. So, okay, and Mark's saying he'll vote anyone who wins the Republican primary. I agree, but you know, there are primaries, which means you have more than one Republican in any race. Good, like we're talking about governor. You're voting straight tickets not going to get you a governor candidate or out of the primary anyway. So, if you want to call and talk. We'll do it. We'll chat that way. If not, then we'll just chat here. But so tell me who your pick for governor is. Tell me who your pick for in any state rep race. If you have a or state senator race, you know, if it's contested in a primary, tell me who you think which Democrat's going to win for. Do you think it's going to be Benson, or do you think it's going to be Swanson for governor? Who's going to win the Dem primary? You know, for a long time Benson was. Well, that's good to know. I would really feel, Matt, you go by Matt or Matthew? I should ask that. Matt Stafford for state representative for District 11. I would really worry about you if you were not going to do that. But we just made that leap of assumption there. So, I mean, for a long time, people thought Benson was a foregone conclusion, but now I'm hearing Swanson's kind of sneaking in there. So what do you guys think? You think that there's any truth to that? You think that there's any, you think he's got a chance? I don't know. So, Matt, you go, oh, well, you're Matt there and you're Matthew on your statement. So do you go by Matt or Matthew? You have to tell me. So who's your pick? Who's your pick for a local judge? Who's your pick for, for the Genoa Township or Howell Township? Who's your pick for anybody else running in Livingston County? I don't think so. Not contested. I think everybody else is, you know, Wolford has got a Dem, but he doesn't have I know Ann Boland's got a Dem, but they don't have a primary, so that's good. Mike Murphy he's got a clear. Okay, here we go. Let's see. Laura Wilkerson's pick is Laura Wilkerson for Howell Township trustee, because Howell Township, well, she's got Howell too there. Howell Township deserves a trustee who's invested in our community, committed to transparency, and focused on protecting our future. Okay, that's a great elevator speech there.
So Laura picks Laura. That's one of the it's the Hull Township, one of the two Hull Township candidates I was telling you about, trustee. So, but anybody want to take some shots out there about governor? Who's your pick for governor? Or wait. You are supporting Perry Johnson because he reminds you of Trump. Okay, there, someone's speaking up. Good. You were a big James guy, but his support's been leading toward either Mike Cox or Perry Johnson. Well, Matt, that sounds like a phone call. Love to hear it. Kind of just tell us why. You can't type all that stuff. That's a phone call. Tell me what you think. I was wondering why you were a James guy, and then what changed that. I think inquiring minds need to know. Where'd it go? Hold on here. So, yep, I'd be interested to hear why. Did anybody see Eric Nesbitt's tractor video today? I don't know if it came out today. I just saw it today. Everybody is stealing the Spencer Pratt AI things. And, you know, we played the Chris Long one in here a couple weeks ago, and that was for Mike Cox, and it was hysterical. I mean, I was really glad to see at the end that he put the tag in where he said, "I'm Mike Cox and I had nothing to do with this." Matt says he has his twins with him, but all right, well that's a conversation for next time. But yep, anyway, so it's about illegal aliens, and he's coming down on his tractor. Anyway, it's very, 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 very funny. But these now AI things are now coming out. Chris Long did another one about John James, and it was detrimental to John. But everybody's got their rights, I guess. So anyway, be interested to know who's your pick. And let's see, here's what I'd like to do. I do this at the end of every Republican meeting, and it kind of leaves us all on a good note. Let's see, here we go. Jeff Irwin posted a nasty Facebook post about Nesbitt's ad. He claimed it incites violence against opponents. Against opponents? Huh. Well, I don't know if we're talking about the same ad. The one I'm talking about is it's got Gretchen and Benson driving in a car, and they're saying they're short votes. They need to import some more illegals, so they call the New York mayor. He says no problem. He ships down 3 buses, and then here comes Eric on the tractor, and he blocks the buses, and then the police ICE comes and arrests, and you see Whitmer and Benson running through the cornfield. I don't know if that's the one, because I don't think it has any violence in it, but or at least I didn't take it that way. But I mean, there might be another one, but this one was pretty funny. But I mean, it's just Eric on the tractor, it just was funny. Here he comes, he pulls sideways and blocks the buses. There comes ICE. So anyway, I end every Republican meeting with something we call hats off, and I'd like to give some hats off, and it's just basically I just like to recognize people doing good things, and it could be for all different kinds of reasons. So, but I give hats off to I have hats off to Tyler for coming back. We've missed him here. He's terrific to have here every week. I give hats off to the candidates have the gubernatorial candidates have not been as negative. Well, a little, I guess, but they've not been as negative toward each other. So, I mean, the polls, they take shots at each other in the polls. But anyway, I give, what about you guys? You got any hats off? Is there someone you can, either in the party or in Livingston County? I give Joni Econom hats off for coming through that surgery like a champ. I give So I'm looking for you guys to start giving some hats off. Who can you give hats off to? I give hats off to Jackson County, Ingham County, Wayne 12, the 12th district, the 5th district, the Kalamazoo County, and St. Joe County for all, and Washtenaw Republican Club for going in, and Oakland County, and South Lyon, SLAR. South Lyon area Republicans for going in together with this Doug Lloyd and Anthony Ferlini. We're all bringing, different stuff. Matt's giving hats off to his opponents for having the courage to face them. Hats off to you, Deb, for your endless energy and support of this county. Much love. Okay, thank you, Karen. I think I fooled you with the endless energy. I go home and put my face in a bowl of ice when I'm done with this. I'm whipped. But thank you. I give hats off to my team. I have the best team. Norris is a great vice chair. He's picking up stuff. I give hats off to the former vice chair, Bill Reiber, who is just a solid conservative, and he votes right, and he does what's right, and he's not afraid to stand up and call something out if it's not right. I give any candidate that stands up against something that's not right, I give them all the kudos in the world. I give hats off to any candidate that stands up and runs. We have some school board races coming up. I don't have any school board members other than than the ones that are already there. So I don't know. I'd love to have some more school board candidates. Michelle Blondeel, if you're watching, please sign up for school board. You are so good at it. Boy, we could use you again. But we could really use some school board members. So if you're interested anywhere in the county, the party will help you. If you're conservative, the party will help you run. So, let's see. Mark, hats off to Livingston County, Jackson, Wayne, are hard working. Yes, it's Macomb, not Monroe. Oh, no, there's Monroe. Well, Monroe is probably hardworking too. Hats off for leading us the county party. Thank you, Joni. It's with members like I've got, it's not hard. Hats off to Sharon and Mike Stanton that just don't quit. They just keep going with membership, and they're just so, now you talk about me having energy, no, not compared to Mike and Sharon. My gosh, they're just always going. They're just doing great things. I want to give another hats off. Brian Ignatowski is our number one priority here. And let's see, hold on here. Long-time listener, first-time messenger. All right, I'm newer to Livingston County. Enjoy your talk on City Council School Board talk last week. Oh, well, should be interesting. Thank you, Patriot 615. We are taking phone calls today. If you wish to make a phone call and kind of introduce yourself, and if you are if you're a conservative and you want to come join us, well, we have a meeting every once a month, and I always announce everything here. So glad you're messaging. I love to keep hearing your voice, and like I said, we're taking phone calls if you want to call. So Brian Ignatowski is our number one priority for the Livingston County Republican Party. Not that other races aren't, but we can't get involved in them for one reason. I mean, we can't get involved in primaries, right? Unless it's a very, very, very special situation. I think Doug Lloyd was the only exception to that. But Brian Ignatowski is our main priority. This comes from our strategic plan we did last January. And so we are putting a lot toward him. And I got to tell you, he's had a couple of helpers. First of all, Jalen Smith, I hope I got that right, is always working with him, and he just got picked up. He just got a new job as a field director for Tom Barrett campaign. So congratulations to him. But he works for Tom Barrett during the day, knocking for Tom. And then he goes and he knocks for, gets off work and he goes and he knocks for Brian Ignatowski. So that is awesome. And the other one I want to give hats off to is Veronica Nugent. Veronica Nugent is about
4 foot high. No, she's not that small, but she's just tiny little thing from Ireland. And she's out there working for him all the time. If you want to know who she is, look at any of Brian's pictures. She's in almost every one of them, standing there with her long hair and her literature, her door knocking lit. So, and she came and helped me at Brian's fundraiser. She signed people in and took, tickets at the door and took checks and stuff. So, Veronica, I give you a big heads off. You're a great help to Brian, and I don't know, what do you do? I know I told Brian that we would be doing a breakfast here. Did I say that? I did. So, can I give a hats off to myself? Yes, you can. Hats off to you. So, Mr. Patriot, Mrs. Patriot, I don't know. There's a woman and 2 men, so I don't know which one you are. So, I'm glad you had I'm glad you enjoyed the talk, and I think that where are you from? Like, tell us about yourself. You gotta pop in and give us a little something here. We gotta get to know you a little bit. Are you male? Are you female? Where'd you come from? Why'd you move here? Inquiring wants to know. You can call in if you want. There's the phone number up there, and we'll put you right on. We've been doing that, and I want to do that more often, but I'm having trouble. People are, it's kind of like the first dance at a high school. It takes forever for the first 1 or 2, and then after that, all the couples get up there. Well, that's kind of what it is. So there's the number, Mr. or Mrs. Patriot, if you would like to call and tell us, just kind of introduce yourself. We'd love to get to know you. We love all the Republicans in Livingston County. They are all welcome. So Matt, Matt Stafford, why are we giving you hats off? Or why are you giving yourself hats off? See, this is why you should be calling, so I don't have to wait like an hour and a half and 3 topics later for you to answer. So, Matt, if you missed it, is running for state rep in the 11th district. Matt, are you going to come to the Ferlini and Lloyd event on, oops. I completely left you on there. I shouldn't have. Let's take that down. Now, let's go back again. All right. Matt, are you coming to this event? This is a great event, and everybody should go to this. It's going to be a blast, and they have fantastic wine. As I said, I'm not a drinker, but I had a glass, and it was really good. So, Wednesday, July 8th, snapshot. Go over there to that... Go to the QR codes there and sign up. If you can see at the very bottom, if I quit moving this mouse, it'll pop back up. Share at LivingstonRepublicans.com, and you can email me that you're coming if you want to do a check, or you can do it that way. So, or checks, I should say, because it's $50 to each candidate. So, okay. I respect Matt is a vet. All right, Matt, I didn't know you're a vet. Thank you for your service, if that's true. So, well, I'm not getting any phone calls, I'm not getting any texts, I'm not getting anybody talking, so apparently our conversation is concluding. Anything else anybody wants to talk about? Phone's open. Let's see. We have... I know both of our judicial candidates are looking for help. Christina Like and Christopher Candela are...
Yeah, that event coming up for them too.
Oh, that's right. Thank you. On Thursday, this Thursday at RE/MAX, what time is it, Tyler? Thursday at RE/MAX, the awesome trio of Sharon Lolio, I don't say Lolio anymore, Sharon Lolio, Marcia Dix, and Connie Robinson are bringing the 2 Republican judicial candidates, Christina Like and Christopher Candela, in to have I wouldn't say it's going to be a debate, it'd be just a meet and greet and a discussion, maybe some questions will be asked. And I
know it's there, I'm just not finding it right now.
Not finding it? Okay, so let me dig. It is here, because I did see it. Yep, everybody has. So just when you go there, just search Sharon Lolio. Because mine isn't coming up. I don't know if the internet's wrong or what. There we go. I get so much. I must. Hang on.
Yeah, I don't see it. I'm just not able to find it for whatever reason.
Yep, hang on. Let me just search under Sharon. All right, let me pull it up. Usually her stuff that starts at 6:30, but I want to just make sure. Boy, I'm just not getting it. I don't know. The internet's just wrong for some reason. Oh well, it's here somewhere. Look, go on the Livingston County. Why can I see everything else but Livingston County Republicans? Anyway, I think it's 6 or 6:30, but if you look at the Livingston County Republican site, it's not coming up. Oh, 6:30. Thank you, Janine. Janine Gogoleski for the save. Or the touchdown. There you go. Janine, thank you. Starts at 6:30 at Remax. That's between Brighton and Howell on the south side of Grand River. Over there, kind of, it's just west of John Connolly's place or Habitat for Humanity over there, Enterprise. But it's the big real estate. Go inside and go downstairs. And they're having a discussion. So if you don't know our candidates, go get to know them, listen to them, meet them, talk to them, hear what they have to say about the issues. So we have two very different candidates. So pick the one you like and get behind them. That's the way it works. So yeah, starts at 6:30, and thank you so much, Janine, and thank you, Tyler, for remembering that. That is going to be a great event. So, so anybody can come. Just go in and listen to what they have to say. So, anything else going on? Janine, what's going on with the library? Wait, Madam Chair, I know you would joke about me, but I am practically the chair of the Republican Party of Highland Park. I think that's because there's only you. I think there's only one, maybe two. It's two, and it's your turn. It's your year. Janine, you know, we're doing a call-in, Janine. So if you want to call in, this is kind of cool. If you want to call in and tell us what's going on at the library, you always have the most interesting things going on over there. So you have my number. Give me a call, and we'll put you right on the speaker. We're starting this now. And tell us what's going on in the library. That library has got more goofiness going on, and frankly, and this is it, this is the scary thing, is I don't think that's the only library this stuff happens. I think they're the only ones standing up and fighting it. That's what I think, but I could be wrong. I don't know enough about library boards. Well, Thursday's your meeting. Get the phone, call, let's talk. Just give me a call. We'll chat about it. I want to hear what's going on at your meeting, what the topic is, what happened. So, just in case you can't find the number, let me put it back up here. I just had it here. There it is. There it is. Call Janine. Call and tell us what's happening. Janine, for those of you who don't know, Janine Gogoleski is the chair of the Heartland Cromaine Library Board, and they are standing up for conservative values over there all day long. They are fighting their labeling books and moving them into the adult section, taking the graphic sexual stuff out of the kids area, and they're catching hell about it. So you know, just so you know, on Thursday's your meeting, and Thursday is their debate. That kind of stinks, but You know, if you want to help conservatives fight, and really not by, you know, not with a ton of money or not with a ton of beating on your chest, go to the library meetings. Just be there for support. I know that, you know, in Heartland they've got a conservative majority, but they get bombarded with opposition on all these common sense things they want to change. You know, they want to put a label on a book that says sexually graphic content, and you know they're getting screamed at because oh, you're banning our books. You don't get to tell my child what they can read. They're labeling it. So anyway, so that's what. So Janine, if you give me a quick call, we can just talk about it a little bit. You can tell me what's going on, and you know, kind of. Aha. There it is. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can. Hi, Deb.
Hi there. Hi, Janine. Glad that you're calling.
Sure.
Hope, we got you right here next to the speaker, and the last guy worked, so it should work for you too. So talk to me about what's on the agenda for this. We're just talking about some of the wackiness you deal with up there.
Well, thanks for having us on the podcast a few weeks back. That was great to get some information out. Interesting that just Crow Main Library has gone through quite a large book challenge. And at our last meeting, it was decided we were reading books and things like that. For the challenge, we got through like 58 of the books, 56 of the books, I believe, out of 220. A motion was on the floor just to move the rest of the books to the adult section. Quite a bit of discussion. The motion passed 4-1. So the books that we were going through with the challenge have now been moved to the adult section.
That's awesome. Did I hear, and if you don't want to talk about this, it's fine, but did I heard that your librarian got up and walked out, was upset?
That's true.
Okay. All right.
And the director.
The director. I'm sorry, not the, yes, there you go.
Okay, so it was a board decision, and part of the challenge was a board decision. So after she was told twice this is a board decision, she was quite unhappy, and she did leave, and she was talked about in committee afterwards as well. And it was a heated topic too with the librarians there as well. So of course, whenever you're challenged, you know, and that too, understandable. And she was kind of taken off guard, and kind of, you know, understandably so. But the motion had came up several times by trustee treasurer Nancy Rosso, that just to go ahead and retain the books. And she even made a motion at the last meeting to retain the books, and didn't get a second on the motion. So then discussion happened, and then motion came up by another trustee to relocate the books. So the board had three choices to do with this book challenge, and this is specifically for a book challenge. Okay, so a little bit different than you're not putting books behind shelves, you're not doing that. It was specifically for the book challenge. The board had the opportunity to relocate books, to retain the books, or to put a label on the books, a sexually explicit label. So going within the law, the bylaws, going within the policies. So the vote was to relocate the books.
Okay. Well, yeah, here Candy Hovarder's on here, and she says, good for Janine, stay tough. Laura Wilkerson, great job. Thank you for all the hard work at Heartland. It's not hard. Miss Tears Mark, Ashley Price, Miss Janine shows great leadership. Local library boards and school boards are very important. They are. So, I mean, Heartland is extremely fortunate to have you guys, because it's, as you know, it's not easy to kind of go against the grain. And, you know, your director, I should say, you probably did catch her off guard. I wonder, before you guys, if anybody ever challenged anything she ever said.
I don't know. It's a matter of two. It's just a matter of this is a different, unique situation that happened in our library with book challenges. And we're not the only one across the country that this has happened with, I'm sure. But for us just to do this as a board again. This is a book challenge of this nature was quite interesting. Usually if a book is challenged, the process, it goes to the director reviews it, gets back with the challenger, and then it's always up to the, if the person that's challenging a book, they're not happy with what the director has stated or what have you, then it comes to the board. That's the procedures, that's how things go. So we're just following procedure and process.
Yep. But like I said, I'm sure with that kind of reaction, it probably didn't happen before or very often. And it makes me wonder too if reactions like that aren't more about control than about content. In other words, are we worried more about who has the say, or are we putting our hand up on top of the bat, or are we really stopping and thinking, could this be a good thing for our library?
Well, that's not for us. Okay, so you bring a good. Okay, so that's this is a different situation, and people can read whatever they want to read, and that's fine. This was a particular situation just with the book challenge.
Sure.
The board doesn't order books. The board doesn't decide what comes into the library and things like that. So that is up to the staff, and we do have an outstanding staff at Cromine. They really work hard and a ton of stuff with the community. I'm really excited now to let's move past this challenge. Let's move forward. Gosh, we're doing a huge renovation in the outside for concerts and making it more of a community. Wow. We're doing a huge play area there with it's going to be awesome. So kind of hope to break ground maybe hopefully in July. We're not quite sure, waiting for some bids to come in. So I mean, there's so much good things happening at the library as well, and summer reading programs. And I'll tell you what, our Liz is one of our outreach people. She's outstanding in what she does for the community. I'm kind of blown away as to if she even sleeps at night for all the work that she does.
Liz was 1,100 years ago. Liz was a student in my Leadership Livingston. I used to teach Leadership Livingston for Cleary University, and she was one of my participants. She was in one of the year-long programs, and she was one of my students, and she was very, very bright. I really enjoyed her. When I came to one of your meetings, and I was really happy to see her. I hadn't seen her in a while.
She's awesome.
She is.
And we have a great staff too, and it's just like it's kind of cute. And if you do go into Cromine, it's very cute. They've got like these huge, big dinosaur prints for the kids area. All this great decorations up there. It's very cute. It's just fun, and I think kids are quite excited about that as well.
Nice.
So, yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Well, that's good. So what's on tap? What's on the agenda for Thursday?
Well, Thursday is our budget meeting, our annual budget meeting. So pretty much, hopefully it'll be short and sweet, and let's approve the budget, and then just a few policies at the meeting. Nothing overly.
Okay. Nothing you need the troops for.
Nothing. Well, we always always welcome the community to come, and that's great when they do. And it's interesting too, to see that. Just want to say something. 4 years ago, when I, ran, you don't think much about local politics. You don't think much about libraries or school boards or things like that. But by golly, look what's happened in the last 4 years here in Heartland alone, So if you're not involved and you're not kind of aware of local politics, I encourage everyone to attend a meeting, go to a library meeting, go to a council meeting,
Yes.
Just kind of see what's going on locally, because you really don't know until you show up.
Agreed. I tell you something. I try not to. I don't feel like I need to recruit people into the party. I always say my job is not to recruit anybody in the party. My job is to educate people about what's going on. If I can educate people about what's going on, they're gonna recruit themselves. If they have any concern or any care about what their world is, whether it's the school world or the library world or the state the House or the Senate or the federal, wherever their world is or whatever their concerns are, that's where you jump in, because who is it? Mark Twain or somebody said, those who are not
willing to step up are governed by fools or something like that. I don't remember the correct statement, but it was something like that. And that's the truth. If you're not willing to do it, if you're not willing to do it, you are at the mercy of whoever else is in there. So bravo to you for taking on a tough job, and now you're the chair, and that's a chair when you're going through cantankerous situations. That takes a lot, and I've done it. I've been a school board president. I understand during cantankerous situations, and it's a trick to navigate those waters. So bravo to you.
Thanks, but I would just say I would encourage all to get involved. You hit the nail on the head, Deb. It's local. Start locally. Move on up.
That's right.
Whatever you're passionate about, you can't sit back in your recliner and just kind of say, "Oh, woe is me. My little voice won't happen. My vote doesn't count." You bet your bucket the vote counts.
I bet your bucket. I like that. I'm going to use that one. It does count.
Yeah, it does count.
It does. It does. And it's like I said, look around and where is it? Where's your passion? And I'll tell you, if you're unsure, I usually do this on in between years, and I will do it next year. I always do a kind of a, if you're even thinking about running for anything, come to this big meeting. I was hoping to get 10 people. I got 45. Come to this meeting and let's talk about what it takes to run for office. If you're not ready, you're not ready. And I will not try to talk you into it if you're not ready. So what we're going to do is go through, here's what you need to be ready with. These are the things you're going to have to do. This is the resources you're going to have. And resources, I don't necessarily mean money, although that helps, but it doesn't have to be. Resources could mean time, could mean support. It could mean, other things. So let's sit down and figure out. But if you don't want to wait, if you want to meet now, if you want to call me now, and that phone number I put up there, that's my personal phone number. So call me or text me and say, hey, I'm thinking about getting involved. I'd like to get involved. What do you think is, where's a good place for me? I had one guy call me, he called me or he texted me, said, or emailed me and said, I would like to get involved. I'm new to the community and I'd like to get involved. And I was thinking about running for a state senator, and I would love to hear, everybody tells me that you know what's going on. And, what can you tell me? And so I kind of went, aye. So I just wrote back and said, I'm happy to talk to you. And he called and he said, I'm thinking I'd run for senator. I said, have you ever run for anything? No. And how long have you lived here? Not very long. Okay. And I said, you thought you'd jump right into the senator? And he said, well, I kind of thought it'd be like, I think the way he put it was, I kind of thought it was like real estate. You start big and then negotiate your way down. I said, actually, interestingly enough, the only place that doesn't work is politics. You start the other way around. You start easier and work your way up. But you got to build support. But I said, there is somebody already running for Senate. No, I didn't know that. Oh, my goodness. And I said, okay. I said, I'm thinking, boy, did you do any research at all? I said, well, not only do you have somebody running that already, but he is probably the single most electable person in Livingston County. And if you don't know anybody, I said, that guy's forgotten more people than you know at this moment. So it's going to be really, really, I would not recommend you do that. I mean, if you do, you do, but I would not recommend it. Okay, well, what's next? Okay, well, and we went down the list and I said, can I just make a suggestion? Run for trustee. Run for your local trustee. Right. You clearly don't know what's available or who's running where. You got to get some roots, and then he disappeared. So I don't know what happened. Here's Bill Reiber, who I gave hats off a little while ago to. I attended all 3 training sessions and got elected. Thanks, Deb. Bill, you listened to everything, and Bill followed him. Bill understood the assignment, we'll say, and he did it. He did a great job, and he's still out there campaigning for people. So anybody's got Bill on your side, hats off to you. You got good things here. All right. Well, thanks, Janine, for your time. Thanks for checking in. And yeah, let us keep us, be a frequent caller here. Let us know what's going on now that you've got us all hooked on what's going on there. We have to. It's kind of like inquiring minds need to know now.
Sounds great. You all take care and have a great night.
All right. See ya. Oh, this call-in stuff is fun. I think we got something here. We just need to have more people use it. So, all right, now we've broken the ice. Now, anybody else want to call in and talk? So we have We have, yeah, Janine is doing an outstanding job, and, you know, like I said, they're a conservative board over there now, so, you know, they made some changes. So, let's see. Thank you, Madam Chair, for educating candidates about starting locally. You're very, okay, well, you know, I mean, really what we start off with, and like I said, I don't need you in a huge group. If you'd rather just have a one-on-one with me, any of these people here will tell you I'm very, very approachable and very available. I make myself available. That's why I am here, to get candidates elected. That is my passion. I mean, policies for the state and all that stuff, I leave that to the people that have policies in that. But for me, it's all about local candidates, getting them elected. And what I really enjoy doing, and what I really want to see happen, is people that want to get involved. Let's get you the training. If you want to get involved and you're not sure if you're ready, let's figure that out together. I don't push you. If you say you want to go, you're ready, then I'll push you. But until then, I really am hands off. I will tell you what you need. We'll talk. Tell you, here's what you need to have. You can tell me about your lifestyle. Tell me what you're interested in, and I'll let you know, yeah, you could probably make that work, or, I think you need to take a step back and you need to figure this out here first, because you probably will have a hard time doing this and this at the same time. That's the kind of discussion I'll have. Bill will attest to that, because I've had it with him. So I'm very honest, and I will tell you if I think that you're heading in a good direction, or if I'll also tell you I think you're not heading in a good direction, and then it's up to you to listen to my advice or not, and that's okay either way. But if you do decide after our initial discussion, if you do decide you want to get involved, we will have trainings on what next. Now what? I can tell you at the very beginning, this is what you'll have to do. But once you're ready, I'm not, unless you know you're going to run, I'm not gonna waste your time telling you what you need to do. I'll just tell you kind of what you'll have to do in a general sense. And then once you've decided that, now I'll tell you in detail what you need to do to win. And the candidates that follow the program win at the top of their ticket. They don't just win. So anyway, once again, this Sunday, how do I open that? There we go. This Sunday, 10X votes. This is, you call, there's a list of people either in your neighborhood, or you can search for people you know. If they're on this list, it means they're a Republican voter, and they don't vote all the time. They're low propensity. It just means they vote sometime. But when they vote Republican. We need these people. Now, we're not asking you to call any strangers. You don't have to call somebody you don't know. You don't have to knock on a door. If you want to do that, there's a list there you can do. But what we're asking for is that you scroll through the names and you find some people you know and pick up the phone. And the goal for this is to get them to sign up for through the Secretary of State's office for a permanent absentee ballot. Lots of people don't vote because they don't want to go. They got appointments, they got kids, they don't have a sitter, they don't want to run and stand in line and go vote and come back, because they don't know enough about the candidates, and they don't care, their vote doesn't matter anyway, blah blah blah. And maybe every once in a while they'll find like a Donald Trump or somebody that they're real excited about, all right, then they'll go. But lots of times they don't, because it's not prevalent in their world. And they also don't see how much of a difference it makes. Well, we got to get these people, and it's not hard. You're not trying to sell anything other than just sign up go to this, and we will give you the link here. We'll teach you the training. There's a website you go to, and it does it for you, and you get the link, and you just say, would you please sign up for this, and we'll show you what to do. And you just have them say, did you know, and this is the way I say it, did you know that you can get a permanent absentee ballot mailed to you? And you can vote in your bunny slippers, on your couch, with your coffee, without ever leaving anything. It'll come to you in the mail, you stick it back in the mail, and off it goes, and now you voted. And you never have to miss another vote because you don't have a sitter, or because you broke a nail, or because you don't feel good, or what have you. You have to work. So this is what we do. This is all you have to do. So I show you how to do it. The entire training takes approximately, somewhere between 20 and 30 minutes. And that's it. Let's see. So I've got some comments here. Mark, there are some crazy people in Highland Park. There's some candidates for mayor with no experience. Ugh. Start with becoming a delegate. Get and stay involved. Attend LCRP meetings. Let's say that again. Attend LCRP meetings. Volunteer to knock doors. Write letters. Donate to candidates. There are all ways to make an impact. You can, and there are more than that. There's lots more, and so you don't have to do anything you're uncomfortable with, but do something. Just do something. And this 10X could not be simpler. You're calling people you know, and just like I said, hey, and I don't say anything like, we know that you don't vote very often. That would be creepy. So it's basically, hey, did you know this is a real important year for Republicans. We really need every vote we can get. Do you know that you can have a permanent absentee ballot mailed to you? You'll never have to. You can ask for it permanently. May I text you the link? Boom, done. They fill it out, and then you might follow up with them and say, hey, did you get that link? Did you sign up? And just get them. Make sure they did. And so somebody else also may be calling them because they saw their name too. So now there's 2 people calling them. They're going to do it. If we can get some of these people to vote, there are a lot of people that are Republicans, and they would vote if they can get them that thing. So anyway, that's Sunday at 7:30. Every other Sunday, all the way through the end of the year. So also, I'm working with the Doug Lloyd team to help him throw fundraisers. Wherever you are out there, if you are willing to throw Mr. Lloyd a fundraiser, even if it's just, your party, at the party office, or at your church or your neighborhood or something, you can do a set ticket price, you can do an open ticket price, come on, you can do hot dogs, you can do an ice cream sundae, whatever it is, you can do it at your church, you can do it at your club, you can do it at your whatever. If you're willing to do that, please reach out to me. For that one, you can do chair@livingstonrepublicans.com, or you can do debdrick@gmail. Either way, one word, debdrick@gmail, and get a hold of me if you're willing to do that. I'm working with some other parties to throw these fundraisers, and we really need to help raise some money. Also, I'm going to be doing 2 Adopt-A-Sign programs, one for Doug and one for Brian Nickotowski. Stay tuned. I'm trying to get the details. By next week, I'll have that all set up. And I have Karen Bukowski, who already said she would adopt a sign, so she's going to be our first one for Brian. As soon as I get everything laid out, I will send it to you, Karen, and you can be number 1. All right, well, I think this is good enough, unless anybody wants to call in. I'm looking for a text saying I'm calling in 2 minutes. I don't see one, so I think we're pretty much done. Let's see. So anyway, good talking to Russ and good talking to Janine. I'm liking this. I think I'm going to do this from now on. We're gonna bring in some live people if they want to discuss things, because Russ talked about some really interesting things, and so did Janine, that we wouldn't have got if we just did all the typing. So good talking to everybody. I will see you, Tyler and I will see you next Tuesday at right here at 7 o'clock, and think about what your let me see, do I have a candidate scheduled yet? Let me see if I have anyone scheduled for next week yet. My candidate for this week backed out, unfortunately, and I do not. So I have to tighten up my schedule for next Tuesday, and then I'll let you know. But I am looking forward to getting more phone calls and have more discussions on what's going on. So I am going to, I know Thursday it's funny because I was going to do this, and then the delegate team decided to bring in Christopher and Christina. So I'm going to have both Christopher and Christina back before the August 6th primary. At least I'm going to invite them one at a time. And, they can come in and talk and whatnot. Oh, why is my thing doing that? Let me get out of there. Boom. Okay, so I'm going to bring both of them back here to make one last pitch for you before the August 6th primary, probably in July, and we will be able to do that. And I think I will probably, I may do something. I haven't figured out what yet.
I may do a meet and greet or a I might do a meet and greet or a podcast for both the Genoa and the Howell Township pairs, so you can again meet the candidates and make your decisions. So let me figure out how that might work, because that's a lot before August, but that's important, right? All right, so look forward to seeing you next week. Remember, this week particularly is this for Judge Warren. If you can go to this next Monday, please do so. And the next one is Sunday. This Sunday is 10X, so make sure you see that. Here, I'm going to put it up one more time. Take a screenshot of that bottom Zoom link as soon as that there goes. The Zoom link, and come on there. I also put this out on the Livingston County Republican Party page and the Livingston, and also my personal page, so you can get it there as well. So, all right, everybody. Good seeing everybody. Good talking to you, and see you next Tuesday.